We've had some good wins, some wild wins, throughout my 12 years. But against a good football team on the road, that ranks up there. That was a good win.
He loves being on the football field, loves practice, loves everything about it. And I think that is the energy that the team feeds off of. They know that, and Deshaun's the type of guy, with a guy like Deshaun at quarterback, your team feels like they have a chance to win every game they play.
Got a long road to hoe, but we've got a huge challenge coming up here this weekend up in Philadelphia. But this is what the doctor ordered to get ready to go play the Eagles.
Oh, Jerry Jones happy to be standing there amid all those cameras and microphones after getting the first win in 4 weeks. Cowboys very much alive for the NFC's crown. Sunday statement draft time. Trivia question outcome determines who gets the first pick. And here's the question. Travis Kelce surpassed 1,000 receiving yards yesterday for the fourth time in his career. Only 3 other tight ends in history have 4 1,000-yard seasons in their careers. Name 2 of them. Really? Name 2 of them.
Well, one's Tony Gonzalez.
Shocker.
And then, I'm going to say Kellen Winslow. Gronkowski's
Gronk and Jason Witten.
Wow, I thought
Witten.
Kellen Winslow was going to be in there.
Let's go Gronk.
I know. I don't know why I didn't. I was going to say it, and I don't know what I chickened out for. I just chickened out.
All right, well, then you chickened your way right into me getting the first pick in the Sunday statement draft. And look, for a lot of these...
What an idiot. I can't believe that.
Yes, I agree. For a lot of these games and a lot of these players, there are consequences for the current year.
Yeah.
For some players, there are consequences for next year.
Right.
And Jameis Winston is doing everything he can to make his case to be the Buccaneers quarterback in 2020. How about 458 passing yards yesterday? He had 300 in the first half, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. He started the game with an interception on the first drive. Put that behind him. 4 touchdowns, 458. Big statement from Jameis Winston as he lays the foundation to have at least one more year as the Buccaneers quarterback. And who knows, maybe they will iron out these issues. Maybe another offseason of working with Bruce Arians, who encouraged him to do the virtual reality. Maybe he'll take to the virtual reality all offseason long and stop making dumb mistakes. If he can iron out the dumb mistakes, the Buccaneers could be very good. They potentially going to finish the year 9-7 and not make the playoffs.
Yeah, no. I mean, Jameis Winston, I feel like we talk about it at least once a week. But, yeah, his good is great. I mean, he has superstar potential as far as the good side of him. There's the bad, though, that rears its head even last week in a game where he threw, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and still comes through that way. But agreed with you. He is making a strong case to come back there at least on a 1-2 year deal, something along those lines where, they pay him and then maybe they protect themselves for that second year where they're not stuck with a huge salary cap charge.
If he finishes the year strong enough, though, does he land on some other team's wish list?
I mean, maybe. I would think.
Could your guy John Gruden want him?
I don't know. No, there's no way John would trust Jameis Winston. I just don't see that happening. I don't. But I don't know.
He's the first player ever with 450 or more yards passing in back-to-back games.
Wow.
How about that?
First player
ever.
Ever? That's a lie.
That's stats, so it may be wrong.
Okay. All right. He might be right. I'm not sure.
Oh, if it was me, you'd say it was wrong.
He might be right. I just feel like Brady did it one time, and I feel like actually my father did it another time too. So that's why I want to say
your dad
wrong.
didn't throw for 450 yards in a season.
He threw for 513 in a game and then came back. I know.
Your dad was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're his son makes me view his career more dimly.
Sorry about that, but I'm with you with Jameis. That was a statement for him, and I think he will be back as the Bucs quarterback next year. All right, I know you guys love this. I know you love it.
What?
I'm picking the whole Dallas Cowboys organization.
We go.
The whole
Everybody.
organization. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones. What's the other Jones's name? I can't remember right now. But all the Jones family and the whole Cowboys organization.
Charlotte Jones Anderson would be the other Jones. And there's Jerry Jones Jr.
Yes, okay, there we go. I knew I was missing some of them. I can't remember everybody. But I really do think this is one time that justifies me picking the whole organization. I mean, the Cowboys defense was dominant. We saw the Rams, and we all thought, oh, the Rams have kind of figured some things out here the last few weeks. They got it rolling. They totally shut down Sean McVay's offense and Jared Goff and Gurley. I mean, they were non-existent. And then the Cowboys' offense on that side of the ball was just dominant from the get-go. I mean, pure physical domination, execution, surgical, whatever you want to say. I thought Ezekiel Elliott looked amazing. Dak Prescott played really good. Tony Pollard showed up. Just good play design. Everything about the game was domination. The Rams were out of this one halfway through the second quarter. We knew it was over, and you were going, I don't think there's any way that this is going to be a football game. And Dallas kind of kept their foot on their throat. And really, the score doesn't even – it's a lie. I mean, it's 37-7 past the midway point of the fourth quarter. And, the Rams got 2 late cheap touchdowns and really added to their points and their statistics from that.
Yeah, I agree with picking someone from the Cowboys, someone specific from the Cowboys, not the entire organization.
It was hard to go specific.
They did make a statement.
Who would you have chosen specifically?
Dak Prescott, because I think it was on him just to settle everything down and make it work.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And he's still got the contract kind of riding on it. And or Zeke.
Yeah.
Dak or Zeke.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm going to go with Julio Jones, and here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why. He had 13 catches for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns yesterday. It was his first receiving touchdown since week 3. He had not been over 100 yards since the bye week. They had all those great games since then. They're 4-2 since the bye. He did not have more than 91 yards receiving in any game since the bye week. It's his number 2 game of the year from a yardage standpoint, but 152 came in a loss to Seattle. 13 for 134 in the biggest win of the year to go to San Francisco and take down the 49ers. Big game for Jones, who got the big contract right before the start of the season, may have saved Dan Quinn for another year. And it's just amazing to think of what the Falcons could have been if they hadn't started the season with a game at Minnesota that they lost. Then week 3, they were at the Colts. That was not an easy place to win. Then they had the Titans, which was not an easy team. Then they had the Texans, and it was a disaster. They gave up 53 points. But you take a few of those games, you turn them from wins to losses, losses to wins, and this is a team that really would have been in the thick of things.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but there's enough there that maybe, just maybe, Arthur Blank decides to let it ride for one more year.
Yeah, no, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. There's certainly some talent on the Atlanta Falcons football team. I think one thing they got to worry about a little bit in the offseason is depth of their team, because it's 2 years in a row where just a few injuries really throw them off kilter for a number of weeks before they kind of figure out how they're going to play going forward. But, that was a very impressive win by them. And, it makes you wonder. Again, it taught me a lesson yesterday. Be careful about picking games and betting games or anything like that when there's common knowledge of opponents. Shanahan coming from playing underneath Dan Quinn, Raheem Morris, who coached under Shanahan in Atlanta and was the receivers coach. Now he's on the defensive side of the ball. It just shows you sometimes those guys know a few little tricks of the trade of what a guy does to attack a certain scheme or whatever. And they made life hard on that 49ers offensive team yesterday for sure. I'm going with Steve Spagnuolo as my statement second pick. I mean, just again, the Kansas City Chiefs, it's always awesome to talk about Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. It's awesome. And man, there's watching Patrick Mahomes is amazing. But the Kansas City Chiefs defense has turned the corner. Really, ever since that Tennessee Titans football game, which I would say they even did some good things then. But there's this game at 3 points. It's 9 points with the Raiders. What was it against the Patriots? Was 16 points.
11.25 points per game in a 4-game win.
That just says it all right there. I mean, they're showing that they can, stop the run. They can do some really creative things in the back end to take away things you want to do in the pass game. Steve Spagnuolo deserves a lot of credit. He's got that defense on track to where now the Chiefs are dangerous, because you go, if they do have a bad day offensively, which a bad day for them is still like 24 points, they can win the game because the defense is capable of making some stops and causing some turnovers.
When I talked to Patrick Mahomes yesterday, I said, do you kind of like it that everybody seems to be sleeping on the Chiefs right now? And he said, I kind of do.
Yeah.
They picked up some confidence in other players on the team and some confidence in their defense by necessity when Patrick missed those 2 games with the knee injury. And it's all kind of building to and who's going to peak at the right time? Who's going to be the team that's hot going into the playoffs? And you've got 4 straight wins now for the Chiefs. They had those ugly losses at home to the Colts and the Texans, and you felt like they were starting to lose their grip on being a truly elite team. Now they're right back there, and they're 2-0 against the Ravens under Lamar Jackson, and I would not want to mess with them in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, they're scary. When they can play defense like that, and then you have the weaponry they have on the offense. And I think the interesting thing is, with like the Patriots and the Ravens having the 2 best defenses in the AFC, they're tough matchups. For the Chiefs are tough on them, I should say, with the style in which they want to play. And it's hard to be aggressive, in-your-face, man-to-man type team, which the Patriots and Ravens want to do when Patrick Mahomes is at quarterback with the weaponry he has at his disposal.
All right, the last one for me, and look, 2017, the flavor of the month, or the flavor of the season was Deshaun Watson. 2018, Patrick Mahomes. 2019, Lamar Jackson. I think 2020 it's going to be Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray was great yesterday. Look, Kenyon Drake had a great statistical game. You look at Kyler Murray's actual stats, 219 passing yards, but he averaged 8.8 per attempt. He had 56 yards rushing, but he led the way for 38 points. And they took down his good friend Baker Mayfield, the number 1 picks in the last 2 drafts. And it was the kind of win that will help the Cardinals build confidence.
Yeah.
They had lost 6 in a row. They felt like a team that is contending, that is viable.
Right.
But they couldn't punch it through. They had the 3-point loss to the 49ers, 3-point loss to the Bucs. They played the 49ers close again. They played the Steelers close, but 6 losses in a row. That ends with the win over the Browns. The Browns the better team, but the Cardinals win, and I think that puts everyone on notice that next year we're going to be hearing a lot from Kyler Murray, and I am looking forward to that.
Yeah, he's special, and he was the big reason they got out to a 14-0 lead. Not only his throwing, but had a few big runs early on that kind of set up and got the mojo going, and then Kenyon Drake was awesome as well. But, yeah, you're right. They seemed to be competitive even when they were losing football games, and Kyler Murray is the real deal as far as I'm concerned. My last one, I'm going with the Bills defense. The Bills.
You sure don't want to go with the whole Bills
organization? Not the whole. The offense could have played a little better.
Josh, you're leaving out Josh Allen?
I know. Hey, that's
Bills
my boy, Blue.
Plus Josh Allen?
No, but just the defense. Just the defense. Because when you go into Pittsburgh and out Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, you deserve some credit, okay? And that's what they did. They outperformed in Pittsburgh. They outperformed the Steelers at their own game. They said, okay, you want to play defense and smash mouth? That's cool. We're down with that. And that's what they did. And that speaks to their head coach, Sean McDermott. I mean, they were tough to move the ball against, and then of course creating the turnovers they created. Those are things we usually see the Steelers do. Instead, it was the Bills with just a few plays here and there from their offense. But I do think the defense doesn't get the notoriety it should. It's one of the 3 best defenses in football. Hope everybody took notice of it last night.
All right, quick break. We are way over. When we return, we'll get you ready for Monday Night Football. The Colts at the they know who we mean. The Saints. Colts at the Saints. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.